Here I am, in the place to be. Mr. K and B, you can't fuck with me. Extra sexy, extraordinary. Palms are hairy, your mama pop. What up, y'all? K and B, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for C Plus Studios. And this is the Sexy Ninja Cast. It drops every Sunday. And I gotta say, wow. Just wow. I had a movie experience that just floored me emotionally, floored me in all my feels, and just made me come to terms and grips with a lot of things. And understanding that life's too short. You never know. You never know when it's going to end. And you need to just get up and do what you need to do to make your goals in life. But this film is so beautiful. Like, I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan. I've been a huge Kevin Smith. He's my idol. I've looked up to him for a very long time. Seeing the first Clerks movie, now seeing Clerks 3. It's now on digital everywhere. I know he's going to be on tour. I have to go to his show. He's going to be down in Phoenix around like November 20th or something like that. And seeing this movie really just, oh, shit. Like, I was in tears, folks. Like, tears of joy, tears of sadness. Like, this hit all those emotional feels, especially how I feel about these characters and everything like that. Dante, Randall, Jay, Silent Bob, and characters that I really didn't think that I cared for. I cared for Elias and everything like that, just because I thought Elias was funny, someone for Randall to pick on. But the fact that he's working at the store now, but Becky, I really want to see Dante and Becky's relationship with their kid and everything, because that's how Clerks 2 ends, when they buy the convenience store. But off the back, we started. Dante opens up, gets his shirt on, opens the store, and lo and behold, Becky's gone. And I was like, what? From what it shows in the movie, she died during birth, and their unborn child died too. And Dante's still here, and all he has is the store and Randall. And everyone's seen the trailer. Randall has a heart attack, and that's the driving force of this movie. And Randall kind of comes to grips of, I'm gonna make a movie because I want to bring something to this world that matters. And and that's the whole point of Randall throughout the movie until towards the end, he kept saying, my movie. And he gets everybody involved, and it's funny from the get-go. The starting of the movie is so great, with the music and everything, and it touches all the nice little pinpoints it should touch in your mind and your heart and everything like that. Them playing hockey on the roof, because now they own the store, they can do whatever they want. The video store is now run by Jay and Silent Bob, and where they sell weed and everything like that legally. And there's great things where someone comes up to like, oh, I want the I think it's Snoochie Boochie's pre-rolls and everything like that. And Jay's all, okay. Silent Bob takes him out, and he kind of like, he looks at him, sneezes and puts it in his hand, and then he gets the cash and goes, that's how we did it in the 90s, son. Very inconspicuous, but little things like that. And I didn't know I was gonna get hit with the whole Becky dying and everything like that. That was crazy, because I didn't know anything about this movie. I didn't watch any reviews. I didn't go and read reviews. Nothing. I wanted to experience Clerks 3 for me, and I'm really glad I did. It's an hour and 40 minutes. It's The editing of this movie is what really gets me, because I am trying to be a filmmaker. I play with, and I've told Big Daddy this before. I've told everybody on the podcast before. I love movies. I love the way movies are made. And yes, I harp on Star Wars, everything like that. But down to my core root as a person, Kevin Smith has been that driving force of why I've always wanted to make a movie. If you ever went back and, like, if you ever watched Clerks, and the way that movie's done, and just hearing Kevin's story, he has a great documentary out. It's called Clerk. It's a great documentary. And I remember the day he had his heart attack. The wife texted me. Then I saw his post on Instagram like afterwards, and I was like, holy shit. And this gets meta in this movie, and because if you follow Kevin Smith like I do, listen to all his podcasts, his stand-ups and everything like that, like, especially when Randall has his heart attack, he's in the hospital. The Widowmaker is what the heart attack is. Only 80% die, 20% live. Everything's saying the small dick joke with Randall's like, no, I don't want to pull down my thing because I don't want anybody to see my small dick and everything like that. That was Kevin's fears as well. And it was funny, like, seeing it playing out now on the screen, especially with Randall. And a lot of great comebacks in this movie. Veronica makes a comeback, and that was such a sweet, like, her and Dante hook up in the parking lot. But it was just one of those things that was just like, damn. And Ben Affleck's in here, Harley Quinn Smith's in here, Emma, aka Kevin Smith's wife, is back. There's a point in the movie where he asked for a loan to help to film. Dante asked her to help provide money for Randall's movie, and because the doctor tells Dante after the heart attack, says like, yo, gets into depression and blah blah blah. And Dante is dealing with his own emotions throughout this movie. The loss of Becky, his unborn child, and stuff like that. And there's a really great scene where he goes to the graveyard and he's sitting there, and Becky's Becky. That's the best part about that. Like, even when she shows up in his subconscious and he's talking to her at the graveyard, it was just, she's in spirit of that character. And I'm very sad that fucking Kevin had to kill her off, but still had her there. And there was a lot of things in this movie. I like I said, I was just enjoying everything. Justin Long, Mark Bernardin, Walter, the whole comic book men crew in there, all there, his friends. And that's the thing about Clerks that was so inspiring, is like, you can make a movie with your friends and you can showcase your friends' talents. So this movie is just sprinkled. And, me and Doug did the whole podcast about nostalgia. This movie's pure nostalgia if you're a hardcore Kevin Smith fan, And we and one of my favorite things is that Elias was with Randall, and this is towards the starting of the movie, where he goes, oh yeah, he goes, Randall, you shouldn't take the Lord's name in vain, blah blah blah. And he goes, smite down Randall, and Randall, that's when Randall has the heart attack. And that made Elias go from Jesus to, devil worshiper, because he felt like he caused Randall's heart attack. And that it was damn good. The jokes were great, making fun of crypto. There's a really great joke where there's a really great thing where my wife looked at me, she goes, that's totally you, where Randall's like getting surgery. They had to go through his balls and everything to get up to his heart and everything so he said that he's like, yeah, and we come across and we finally meet Luke from Return of the Jedi, Luke, not Gran Torino, get off my lawn, Luke, from The Last Jedi. And she's like, what are you talking about? He goes, The Mandalorian, season 2. I was just like, yes, in pure fashion. And that's where my love for Star Wars It's there, and I think that's why I gelled with the first Clerks movie because of the Star Wars jokes and Kevin's passion for Star Wars. You know, and I'm so deep into the Kevin Smith mythology. I even had the movie he saw on my shelf that inspired him. It's a great movie. Slacker. You should check it out if you ever get the chance. I have the Criterion Collection on Blu-ray. You can see why that movie shaped Kevin Smith to make Clerks. And then a movie too where it's all about dialogue. Just, at a convenience store. And that was so funny about this movie because it is meta in that sense. Where he's like, Randall's like, I'm gonna make a movie about what? About me and about the store. Dante's like, what? No one's gonna see a movie about two dudes in a convenience store and whatnot. It's like, aha, and the way they're shooting, and Kevin has this great part in Silent Bob where Dante's like, here, he's gonna be, filming and everything like that, the shots. And Randall's like, I'm gonna trust him with my movie, blah blah. And Silent Bob breaks silence. He's like, yo, Bob. He goes into this great fucking dialogue and stuff like that about him filming and this, and then the great. There's a great scene where he's like, yeah, well, just to let you know, because of the lights in here and all the colors and stuff, this movie's gonna be better in black and white. And I'm really happy because this movie Clerks 3 has been on the horizon for a very long time. It was supposed to be made years ago, but Jeff Anderson, the first time around, even Kevin told a story where they had a location, they got the crew, and right when they were setting up the offices, everything that they were setting up, everything, Jeff pulled out and said no. And then Kevin's like, well, I can't do Clerks without Dante and Randall. They're the Clerks, so that shifted towards him doing Jay and Silent Bob reboot. So this movie we've been waiting for this movie. I've been chomping at the bit. And now that it's finally here in all its glory, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. I really want to see it on the big screen just so everybody could see me cry like a big back baby bitch. Because I lost it, folks. I really did. I'm no shame in my game either. And I had to come outside. I'm sitting outside in the car just to record this just because I wanted the fresh air and and it's raining outside. It's really beautiful. It's really nice. I love the rain and everything. And I might be rambling on, but god damn it, I love this movie. And it's the end of the trilogy that we didn't expect nor knew we wanted. Well, for me personally, I can't wait to have Clerks 3 on Blu-ray or 4K, whatever, and have it on my shelf with Clerks 1 and 2 because I have and what's funny too is like Kevin's kind of making a go around, and he's sort of like everyone's talking about Kevin. And the one thing I was going to make a TikTok with it and everything like that because like apparently a flex is owning Dogma in physical media, and I still have my Dogma DVD. I have all the movies, Mallrats. I even have Jersey Girl, Cop Out. Don't really watch that much. Chasing Amy, Jay and Silent Bob. Jay and Silent Bob. I guess not. Sorry, I'm still thinking about Clerks 3. But everything, those little moments in this movie, especially Veronica coming back, that was awesome. And and when Randall finally comes to terms with this isn't his movie, it's our movie, because the biggest the biggest thing in this movie that happens is Dante then has a heart attack. And spoiler, he dies. Oh my gosh, him and Becky, there's this great scene where Randall brings the laptop to the hospital and everything like that, and he's like, hey, this is our movie, and you wanted to show him, and he goes, this is our movie, and this is the way I've always seen you. and everything like that. And it does this great, like, Dante is sitting in this theater. He's looking at the screen, and it cuts back to him in the bed, and it's showing everything from Clerks to Clerks 2, and him and Becky, and I'm about to cry just thinking about it. Showing his whole life in front of his eyes. And as he's sitting there, Becky is sitting right next to him, holds his hand, and then, oh my god, Becky is sitting there right by him, looking at the screen with him, and there's little flashes of her too in his life, and she grabs his hand, and they go up the aisle, and it was saying goodbye to Dante, and I right there. Right there, you can hear it in my voice. Right then and there, I lost it. I thought that was the most beautiful way to say goodbye to a character. Having Dante leave with Becky and be with Becky and possibly their unborn child. That whole right there, I have I have tears rolling down my cheeks. But that, and then you cut to the funeral, and Randall, he's saying something, and he goes, in pure Dante fashion, you shouldn't have been here today. And once again, boom, tears, everything, I and that's what made this movie just click on all cylinders. And she asked, the wife asked me, she goes, "Is it better than Clerks 2? Because I know how much you love Clerks 2." I'm like, I don't even know. I'm gonna watch this movie over and over again, like I did Clerks 2. Like I do a lot of movies, but this movie I definitely want to rewatch over and over again, and because that emotional connection to the characters, to the way Kevin edits a movie, the way he writes a movie, and putting everybody in his life in his movies. I think that's just so awesome, because I want to do that. I want to have Big Daddy in my movies. I want Pinta in my movies. I want my daughter, my wife, my family in these movies, because we can be like forever in time captured. And that's what Kevin has with this movie. All his friends are and family, and everybody from Clerks, the first movie, and everything like that. And the fact that he got Veronica back, I'm still mind blown by that. That just makes me happy. Then his wife being Emma again, and there's this great thing at the end where she, after Dante dies, she comes back and tells Randall, like, "Yo, I fronted a bunch of money, and if Dante's told me if he couldn't pay me back, I own half the store." And Randall's like, "Oh shit!" But Elias and his little version of Silent Bob comes back, and they're like, "Yo, cryptocurrency, we made $1 million." And she's like, "What?" And they threw like $90,000 at her, like, "Hey, fuck off! The store is ours." And right then and there, we get the shot where Randall's standing there, and it's the pull away shot, like it is at the end of the second movie and everything like that. And that was a great thing too. Harley Quinn Smith is the one pulling out the milk, but it shows Randall, and he's just there. He goes, "I miss you, buddy. You should be here." And he leans on the counter, puts his head down, then looks up, and it pulls back, and there's Dante in spirit with him. And I was just like, "God damn it, Kevin! You're making this grown man weep." Like, weep hard. And I'm and now I gotta think of this idea of Randall being by himself, but Dante's there in spirit. Randall made his movie, and I hope this is the end. This is the end here. And during the casting section, it was nice to see Ben Affleck. I'm really happy, because Ben Affleck's one of my favorite actors because of Kevin Smith. All the way to Mallrats and everything like that. Kevin introduced me to Ben. I'm talking like I know Kevin. That's how much I love this dude. Like I speak in these crazy things and everything like that. But it comes down to like the wife, because afterwards she's like, there's a couple plots, Elias becoming a Satanist and this and that. And, there's no flaws. Maybe watching over and over again, I might find a couple, but it's like Clerks 2. Like Clerks 2, I feel is a perfect movie. This one I feel is a perfect movie. Hell, the first Clerks is a perfect movie. And to wrap up this trilogy now in this fashion, having it start from beginning to end, and it's beautiful. I highly recommend it. Like, if you have not seen I met people who haven't seen Clerks. I work with a kid who watches. He's a film major. We talk movies all the time, and I was telling him, I was like, yo, I go, Clerks 3's out. I can't wait. And he goes, Clerks, what's that? And I was like, go back and watch Clerks. And it surprises me. And, it's funny. It's like, there's so many things like, Jay and Silent Bob are great. Always. Jay and Silent Bob, especially owning a weed shop. And the pre-rolls and the weed are in the movie boxes. Are in the movie boxes and everything like that. That's just awesome. And I can't wait to go to Kevin's theater up there in New Jersey. I still want to go to the comic book shop. That's one of my biggest goals, is to go to Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, Smog Castle. I would love to go to, and it's in the same building as the convenience store, the Quick Stop that Kevin worked at. It's in the same. It's at the end of the building. Yeah, I'm a psychopath, right? Because I know that. And then he opened a theater to show his movies, a theater to show movies, showcase this and that. So it's just cool. Kevin's story is great, just because it's one of those things where anybody can do it. You can do anything if you set your mind to it. And I like the fact that he's so positive. And I remember after the heart attack, he just went to smoking weed. I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to say this right here. Confession to everybody. And even if Big Daddy listens to this. I was vegan once. For health issues and everything like that. I wish I can go back. No, I could go back. I can't wish. You can. And that's what this movie's telling me. Is like, life is too short to say, I wish I could. Oh, maybe there's tomorrow. No, there's today. You make today count for everything it's worth. And I became vegan because of Kevin. There we go. Let it out the bag. I became that. And and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like, everyone else asks, why do you wear shorts and a hat? And it's not to imitate Kevin, but that's my style. That's always been my style, is wearing shorts and a backwards hat. And everyone knows me for that. And people laugh because they're like, oh, and I bought a trench coat one time, and it's a really nice one. And it's my Silent Bob coat, just because I idolize this dude that much. Is it unhealthy? I don't know. I'm going to tell my therapist next week, though. And I'm going to tell my therapist, like, yo, I saw Clerks 3. And I'm going to tell him every box it ticked in my brain. Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar's in this movie. Like, it's all the great cameos in this movie. it just puts smiles on my face, and I can't wait to get done with this podcast, just because I'm already thinking about going inside and putting it on and watching it again. I really did. And God, I can't put this movie over enough. So I say, go watch the movie. Go check out Clerks 3. Or if you haven't seen the first two Clerks, go watch the first two Clerks and see what this man has brought, his art. And I will say, I did like this way more than Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. Even though Jay and Silent Bob Reboot was fun and was amazing on its own, this movie, Clerks 3, had more heart. I'm not saying Jay and Silent Bob Reboot didn't have heart. I had heart in a different level, but this had heart of where it all started for Kevin as a storyteller, as someone who makes movies. This is definitely a love letter to himself, because he says who's the biggest Kevin Smith fan? Kevin Smith. And that's what this movie is. And I've been avoiding all the interviews, him being interviewed about the movie, or him talking about the movie and all this and that. Now I'm going to go back and listen to all those podcasts where he talks about Clerks 3. because I was there. I was listening up to the point where he was writing it and the drafts and stuff. And now I want to go back and actually hear him talk about this film. And I'm gonna find some way somehow to go down to the convenience store when it hits Phoenix in November 20th. And 4 days before my birthday. So that's good. That's going to be cool. So wink, wink, and shout out to anybody just to let you know. November 24th is my birthday. And Kevin Smith is going to be down in Phoenix November 20th. All right, y'all. And my rating, if this was me and Doug sitting here, 10 out of 10. Fuck it. 20 out of 20. 20 out of 10. I don't know how that makes sense, but that's how much I love this movie. It's a movie I will cherish and I'll watch over and over again. So go check it out. Clerks 3 out now in digital. I know it comes, I believe next month it hits the Blu-ray, and there's this awesome steelbook that Best Buy has. It's a really cool slipcase cover. It's like $20 for the steelbook. So you can go pre-order that. I definitely pre-ordered it before I even saw the movie, and usually I do that like I did with Eternals. I remember when I got Eternals, the steelbook delivered to my house, I was like, oh yeah, the movie sucked, but the steelbook, I guess, is nice. So, Clerks 3, out now. Go check it out. Like I said, for me, it was everything I wanted that movie to be. It touched me in so many places, and thank you, Kevin, for touching me. All right, y'all. Like and subscribe. Share with your grandma. Share with your grandpa. Share with the bum down at Walmart. Real quick, too. One of the biggest reasons I got into podcasting is because I like talking about myself. I like telling stories and sharing stories and all that. That also comes from Kevin, because Kevin was one of the first few actual podcasts, first podcast I ever listened to, because he's been podcasting for a very, very long time before podcasting even became huge the way it is nowadays. And he has a bazillion, so he has thatkevinsmith.com where you can subscribe and hear all the back catalog. And it goes deep, folks. It goes deep. So everything I'm doing today was inspired by this man. I love you, Kevin Smith. Hopefully one day we can meet, smoke, and talk movies and everything like that, because you've given inspiration to so many people, including myself. So thank you. Now, I'm KMB the Sexy Ninja. And as always, whoop, whoop. Welcome to the wicked shit. Oh, yeah.